Welcome to Timeless Lore. Our mission is to preserve the knowledge of our ancestors for our descendants. We find, edit, and publish out-of-print literature across a wide range of topics and share the knowledge from these works in videos. Our story. This started from researching various religions. While doing that, I stumbled upon books from the 1800s discussing Mormonism. This was fascinating to me since this was shortly after the Book of Mormon was originally published. From there, I started gathering books of interest to me. I gathered smaller, less popular works that might otherwise be lost. This is one of the books that I have collected, an English Saxon homily on the birthday of St. Gregory from 1719. Limitations for the next foreign successor or a new Saxon race debated in a conference betwixt two gentlemen in 1701. Davis a traitor? Was succession a constitutional right prior to the War of 1861? This was referring to the Civil War. Obviously, it wasn't called the Civil War then. It gives a wholly new perspective on life when you hear what people were saying closer to the time. This is one of the books that I have already published. This is a brief history of the Church of Christ of Latter-day Saints, commonly called Mormons. This one is by John Carell. It was originally published in 1839. You can see the original that I worked from, and then this is the PDF that I came up with, and it is actually available in two formats. This is the first chapter. And now if I was doing it, I would actually try to keep the formatting even closer to what the original looked like, and that I would have those words, the history of the Mormons, appearing right above chapter 1. I'm trying to keep it as close to the original as possible. And this one is Robert Patterson's, who wrote the Book of Mormon. This one is a little more difficult to have edited because the copy is not as clean, and it's in this double line format, and then there's writing on the side that confuses everything and makes it more difficult to read. Here are current lists of books that have already been published. Who Wrote the Book of Mormon? By Robert Patterson. That was one I just showed you that had the two double columns. This is available as paperback or as a Kindle on Amazon. The longest book I did was several hundred pages. Religion of Ancient Britain, historically considered by George Smith. Since it is so much longer, the paperback is $25. That took a long time to work on that. Then the other work I showed you, A Brief History of the Church of Christ of Latter-day Saints by John Carell, paperback or Kindle. And then this other one, The Origin of Mormonism. It's just a short little work by Anna Eaton. It's not actually even long enough to be published in paperback. It actually was a summary of a speech she gave in 1881, I believe. And eventually I want to collect a bunch of these short little works and publish them together in print format. Future publications. I have already collected over 250 works that I would like to edit and distribute to the public. The topics include religion, paganism, Mormonism, literature, finance, politics, government, genealogy, anthropology, science, American Revolution, Civil War, slavery, and just general history works. Generally, anything that even looks remotely interesting, I'm trying to collect them. I am not good at evaluating whether they're accurate or historical significance, but somebody wrote it and their words could be preserved and somebody else might find value in them. I generally, at this point in time, I have mainly books on the Book of Mormon and the early response to Mormonism. because that's what started my interest in this area. But I am expanding into having collected many more on history, the Civil War, and the American Revolution. And I found some genealogical works were interesting, just short little works where somebody traced their ancestry back. And I don't know who the people are, but it's fascinating. And I also found some biographies that were written about various people living in, like there's one that's of 1,000 Syracusians. People lived in Syracuse, New York. Just short little blurbs talked about people that would otherwise you may never have heard of. You can look for new videos on YouTube. You can follow me on Parler, Twitter, or Telegram. And as I finish these works, I will be producing videos about each one and promoting that so that you can find the knowledge. Thank you.